He sent the message say it be high time for una like Republic Cameroon soldiers for turning our guns against the ones where they send for can commit murder or can commit suicide for territory. Turn our gun against the regime. We're not win this war. We're not going to understand. Now look at trend. Now look at tights for how the war don't evolve. And you only create fine soldiers inside Ambazonia. When you cause that kind of carnage for territory, you think they could go back down. Would double down for challenge you and for put you out of your territory. It is to give that advice for now, for leave for land. Face your enemy. Like people Cameroon soldiers, your enemy, not be Ambazonian. Because you fight now a very, very, how do you call them? You fight now war where you don't get meaning. For the Republic Cameroon soldiers, you fight now war, an unjust war. You get every right to fight this war as Ambazonians. When I turn on our guns and face the government where they send on African die for land. We land on a graveyard. When I don't read the trend, when I read the tides, they constantly recruit una. When they ask themselves, so the other one that they go, the ones that before so they don't go. We are not going to overcome we. We are not going to overcome we. We now continue to die for land. Do the right thing that other military for other countries don't do. For thought to face the oppressive regime. Maybe remote control by France. For control to oppress them. Look Mali. Look Guinea. Do what they don't do. For save face and show dignity so that you get an inch of dignity. Now we continue to die under the hands of a puppet from France. Where they cause una death for land. Because we're not going to win this war. Like the word of oil where he talks everything. Now kill the last Ambazonian. We're not going to learn for the modern history. The Taliban, when they take over Taliban, or they take over Afghanistan. Maybe the ones that will start the fight in the 90s. And they're picking them, take back their land. When you see Ambazonians and picking them, they already trained. Small picking them 5, 6, 7, 8 years. They carve guns with bamboo. They already be trained. So when they hear sound for bullet and gun, they distinguish them with a military bullet. This is an army gun. This, and they talk. Say make they grow fast, fight this war. When I think not win this battle, we're not going to win the war. Turn your guns, face your enemy. Your enemy, like Republic Cameroon soldiers, now the government in place, the puppet government, where the second of God die for land, because we're not going to win this war. Una arrogance, it don't be dismitted piece by piece, but still you will be dull for seeing. Una arrogance, would they be? We turn like small picking them, crying babies in South land. The same government hire militia them from Chad, other Francophone can fight with. We break their will, they go out. They continue to recruit young picking them. We can't commit suicide for land. And we are the same capability to grow every day, stronger and stronger. I will make some statement 4 years ago. See, Ambazonian warrior them. They still wake up. And when they see that they wake up. We'll be out to complete the mission. We will forbearance them. They will lay them out for we. We'll be out for connect to the graves of our ancestors. We'll be fight for a free land for we. For ensure their struggle will go in vain. The current present generation will live with the responsibility and will uphold them to connect with the likes of General Ivo and the rest, the Fiangos. They will be die in vain. Now a must responsibility will uphold. I will uphold this responsibility even if it means that the next generation will continue to take up from we to uphold this particular responsibility, because Ambazonia will be free. the Republic of Cameroon military. Ask yourself, where are colleagues, the ones that we come before? Also, they don't run because we're an unjust war. You if you win for land. May I go ahead for talk again? I will touch on the second part of my top for discussion today. And the last one, it will be on war tax. Will they get good vibes from that area? Where the companies them, they don't decide to respond. More information they go ahead, the nays ahead. With the lead. You know, they argue. This is not be democracy. Now a liberation struggle. I don't want to play this audio because it be I will play an audio for an excerpt for which we hear for social way. It came out a couple of days ago for social media from a set of people that they call them say internal detractors, and also I will call them say, you know, La Republic of Cameroon apologies. They come from the arm from this for this revolution way. I will call them say La Republic of Cameroon apologists. People here they apologize for La Republic of Cameroon. Despite the carnage we don't face on the past 60 years. Those people them, I will play what we don't put out a couple of days ago. And because of their stupidity, with some of they head them for this revolution, they go to jail. They don't constantly or consistently make stupid errors then. We warrant, because they be touch AGOFC and ADF, it warrant a response. Not be everything we'll talk about them, but we don't realize if we know talk about the key things for this revolution. It will continue for drag, we will protract this whole thing. I want to play an excerpt for which they put her out, and I will respond appropriately as the play they go. Make Ambazonians them get sense, open your mind, think. At times not the direction. I also the AGOFC it be out to give directives and direction for our people as far as this the liberation struggle be concerned. We don't see other schemes, they don't come. They crumble. Other schemes for this revolution don't come. They don't understand where they go. They don't understand the meaning for a revolution. Now why I don't create confusion. So they don't be caught and locked up in jails. So they don't create confusion and carnage for ground. So they don't come where they allow people them. When you know do vetting, they allow like people to come on Trojan horse, they can't embed themselves inside amongst them. They shatter those organizations. But the organization don't stand, focus, you know, they blink. You face the enemy squarely. And you don't also face internal attack from within the organization, from within Amazonian squarely, like the AGOFC and the ADF. And we'll stand focused, we'll be poised, like vanguard for this revolution. And we will drive this whole thing through. We will approach every attack on us, be it like the Republic of Cameroon, be it internal enablers, be it internal detractors, be it like the Republic of Cameroon apologies. We will attack them piece by piece as we go ahead. Make a play. I will play the excerpt and I will respond slowly and steadily as the message go out, because it be full with a lot of lies. And whatever the AGOFC or ADF put out there, we make no apologies, because we fight for people, we fight for populism. No popularity in the win this war, or else we want to different position. So I want to play this story, and I will respond as I go time as I player and they go ahead.
Southern Cameroonians condemn criminality in our struggle. Yes, you remember the Kumba. As soon as it happened, they go catch some 4 boys then for Widikum. We don't know the fate of those children. But then, for they go for court for Biya, they go condemn another set of people. Say they were responsible for Kumba.
Well, now, excuse me, make a play this thing, go ahead. I don't want to take all my time. I want to respond for the appropriate areas in which it concerns my organization, the AGOFC.
Of what's going on. Are they going to take us seriously? The amount of criminality by 2 main groups, and we will call them the AGOFC, Choayaba a group, and the military wing, the ADF, and Sako a group. Those 2 groups, me I call them group, you call them political parties. They don't have the structure of a party. They don't have the militancy of a party. and they are not operating like a party. These are people who are busy manipulating.
Point of correction. Now they follow this audio. The AGOVC now an organization. We not be top party. We are not a party. Do you want to be politics? You will see how people, the way they enter this revolution, they derail this revolution because they don't understand what will they inside. We don't always talk, say, if the kitchen is too hot, get out. If they heat too much, get out of the kitchen. We don't always talk so. This one will be politics, no revolution. Some people will call we party. This one will be political party. The AGOVC now a revolutionary body with the all objective for free Ambazonia. When some people they address the AGOVC say party, or they address the AGOVC say we be a movement within the liberation struggle for free Ambazonia. We make no apologies over that. We will not be deeply engulfed in the likes of this one. We make this comment, and the one they call themselves government. What the government don't yield, it don't regress this revolution till where it is. From day one, it will be meant to be create a revolutionary council. They say government. Now the party I call saying that the Republic of Cameroon apologies and this one acceptment for this government. I mean for the very first so-called government they created. Who's are the element in there? Locked up in Yaoundé with stupidity. They constantly make errors them. And they consistently make these same errors them. They be bent for attack the viable organization way. It be out for free Ambazonians. Now they are that all that they gain relevance. They don't get anything to offer. They be shout. Who's the government they claim say they did? Because of lack of knowledge for way to the fight. It pushed some of them. They go shoot them for Nigeria. They can't catch them. Go lock them. And still some of them. They keep on for to make the same error. For attack the core for which way we fight for. For attack the core body. The AGOVC. We make no apologies. We don't come to make friends for this revolution. But we come for free land. May I control? I don't correct the error. They don't go show that group they call how they call them group or party. Or we are not a political party. We are a revolutionary body, specifically with a mission to liberate Ambazonia. My control will play with the player. Just give me a minute. Let me correct something here, please. Just give me a minute. Let me correct something, please. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that, the distraction.
Distressed young people on the ground to cause confusion. I cannot equate them when I look at civilized political parties. How can I reconcile their activities with the operations?
You see, La République du Cameroun apologies. People apologize for La République du Cameroun. People belong to a body. Well, when the AGOVC, the military wing from the AGOVC, the ADF, it be start for protect with people them, for attack gendarmes them. Now the group of people this way they should not apologize for La République du Cameroun. Till now they still call we political party. No, there is a big difference. We are not in politics. We need to play politics. We need to fight for free land. We need to fight. We need to play in a politics. They still talk about politics. We have never called ourselves a party. We never called it a political party. We'll be a liberation movement. Will be a liberation movement with a political wing and a military wing for free, with a mission for free Ambazonia. But if people see that today, when they see make the mistake for things say with the play of politics, This is not politics. This type of confusion we will clear and put our minds. They address you a political party, or in time will put you in the box for political party. We are not a political party. We are a liberation movement with a mission to free Ambazonia. A clear mission. But the point is they jump into this whole thing, we don't understand what to fight for. The things in that game. They allow themselves to be wrapped up for Nigeria, picked and locked up in Yaoundé. We the AGOF see the fight for freedom, for movement, for liberate a nation. They see get charlatans the day out there, they make mistake. For which we go on for land. They don't even understand the concept for liberation. But they be out for attack the backbone. According to the Republic of Cameroon apologies and internal detractors. Go for address them. I want to address this thing piece by piece till I get done with this whole thing.
Of the standard operating procedures of political parties. To me, they are just groups. But to our point today, we want to start with the first criminality, which was the kidnap of a Camwater manager, official in charge of Camwater in the northern zone by the AGOF group, Choyaba, a group, and their military and their fighters, some ADF. They are in Alabukam, in Mankon, in Bamenda.
You hear Igor Shidong, this element, enough for SCBC TV. Igor Shidong they talk about, so we don't talk so we dislodge every oppressive structure for territory. And every organization, every cooperation, every international body, it go pay liberation tax as long as you function, you raise funds, you do business now inside with territory. You not be negotiable, not be called for, not be anything for discuss about them. And when you see people they can't stand it, they kick against these measures when you take them. Now people I call them La République de Cameroun apologies. The things in na remnant is for SDF and CPDM. When they pose themselves like people, they portray themselves like people, they fight for this liberation. They see get that mixture of their mind for things say, this one are politics, like political scene. We're talking about freeing a nation that's under a threat of genocide. They be out for exterminate we. We fight for give relevance and for free ourselves. People can't show it all apart because they get that mindset, that colonial mindset. They think say na politics this. We don't make it very clear. And before we will apply every tool available using their infrastructure and their human resources for ensure to make the pay a liberation tax. We know they argue about that one. We know they talk for back. We talk openly. It be good a thing. Say a couple of medium-sized companies only comply. They contact with, they figure out how we support this revolution. Ambazonia has once again the past 5 years for every Monday as ghost towns for sacrifice for say they want to be free. What more of cooperation will make they reap in billions or even go to trillions of CFE for territory? We want to tax them for exploiting people then. We get every tool for them. At the same time, when we start to fight back like Cameroon, this element then they come out, they apologize. They call we terrorists. They openly go out, they call the AGOF, say ADF terrorists. When we fight for few people then they want to get into the fight, the portion for self-defense. They will not get no plan, no structure. They be out. They will try to buy the ADF fighters over disrupt over ground. They don't see come back again. So I call them Cameroon apologies. Now that mindset for apology for we don't understand the liberation struggle, it cost them. They be feel locked up, they pick up somebody from Nigeria. They say they lock them up because they don't understand which one to fight. They don't understand, they don't get the concept for which to battle on. We don't talk so we apply, we will disrupt every human and material structure of operation or territory. Now the tools that we apply them for free land. We don't talk say every organization, every business entity for territory, you go to pay liberation tax. and we go apply every tool available for ensuring they understand the language. Both the human and their material structures on the ground may be our disposal. To make them for comply, for pay the liberation tax. We need to talk back. We need to talk this with the fear people them. We need to talk this with the debate them. We need to lead this liberation struggle. We don't allow this thing for too long. These are people that hands them. They cause the death of people on the ground. We should not go back till see Ambazonians go understand. Let them not pass. We the lead. The AGOC and the ADF, the lead. We need debate. Do you want a parliament? Do you want a liberation struggle? Don't be politics. How some people can show me the things that politics we play. No. Let them not pass. We won't make any apology for free land. We don't make any apology. We don't be answerable to anybody for free land. I will apply every tool available within reach for ensure we get freedom. We begin to put the blood for ground. Ambazonia, they destroy every Monday. They just give that day up for free ourselves. And we will get out for tax corporations and for tax businesses for territory. For pay the liberation tax. And when other medium-sized companies, they don't come up. We never hear some like the Republic of Cameroun apologies them. We don't understand the concept for liberation. Now why we expose part of them, they be caught up and locked in the Republic of Nigeria, be locked up for Yaoundé. We will fight for liberate them. But they see come up to make this type of stupid alterations. We make no apologies and no bones. Any organization, any business entity will operate for land, it will pay a liberation tax. The people that they sacrifice every day, mommy and papa, they will really get anything. Their soul bread now for sell, now buy and sell them. We ask now, people they reap trillions of CFA for territory on a yearly basis. Make the pay for the carnage will go on for territory, for fight for protect the people them and for protect themselves. You get charlatans, hoodlums, they go shit down, they attack we. They claim how we organize that kidnapping rate. No, we make it very clear for this organization. Say we apply every tool available. We apply the human and the material structures will be in place for ensuring they comply for the laws. We don't come up for few people them. We will do anything, go at every length for the Ambazonian.
That's their base. They call themselves Bamida Brigade, that's fine. But they don't control all of Bamida.
This guy will talk to the call of Bamida Brigade, that's fine. Now the very politics will need to fight now. They say, they need to fight. Will be this. Now that meant that is the government where they don't catch a segment of the lock-up. They see continue to push this failed system of liberation in front of Ambazonians. How many governments they don't form until now? What's the day? The same segment they don't lock up Yaoundé. We fight for freedom. But they come to attack the same way. We'll be unshakable. We don't pull off Ambazonia of the past 5 years. Now the bodies have fall behind. We need debate. With the lead, I will give directive for this revolution. We don't show them for too long, for 5 years. We allow charlatans. We allow people to cause the death for picking up the ground. We leave the air be full with space for lies. We allow Trojan horses them, infiltrators that will get into this revolution for cause the death of people that will pay for people there. Enough is enough. No more. The AGOC and the ADF will lead this revolution unapologetically. We will not be answerable to anybody. We will be answerable to the freedom for land.
They control their own turf. So they give the impression. So before we analyze them for our people and explain why this is criminality, they feel twist and talk all the things about taxes and this and levy this and working for La Republique is all malarkey. That is just malarkey. That is BS. This
we know argue with charlatans or La Republic of Cameroun apologies. The ones who always have to defend people them. But that arm this. The ones who always have to defend people them for that take out your dams them. The right letter of apology send them for the regime for Yaoundé. They apologize. They ostracize with the AGOC ADF as terrorism. That the same arm this. They don't get no clue for self-defense. They don't get no clue for diplomacy. You don't get no clue for foreign diplomacy. You don't get no clue for what you mean by liberation. Then they still get that political mindset. Most of them are ex-SDF and CBDM people. Then They see that political mindset, they think it's one country. They think that politics. The globe wants to respond or look into case. Now after we pick up arms, the ADF, the grandfather for self-defense, he pick up arms so we defend ourselves or defend people them. The world will respond to this crisis now for Ambazonia because the ADF and the AGOF begin the guts for start to say enough is enough. We have to defend our people. They will start to claim now, say the world will respond. For 60 years before, or how many years, was the world responding to a crisis? They could only respond when we said enough is enough. The ADF pick up arms. The military for AGOF, the ADF pick up arms. He say, I go fight. And the world now tend to put attention to the probably go on. The world will talk, not because we fight. Maybe out of noise or political maneuvers. The things that they play at the politics with ACF, CPDM. No. We are in a liberation struggle. We are still for the clock, the pathway for liberation. Now allow we will take this thing through.
Is stereotypical textbook kidnapping for ransom. That is what it is. But I want to play and talk so that our people now can.
I want to make one clear correction. We be whole, calm water, responsible. We know an individual. And fellow Ambazonians, we don't see very well time and again. We get Capo as an anti-kidnapping czar. People they kidnap for ransom, they pick the individual, the normal Ambazonians. We don't get a military, the revolutionary mindset behind the revolution will pick people up. We don't always go catch those kidnappers. We don't always pick them up. We don't always show up for Ambazonians. So make no mistake. We go after people the way they tell me they comply for pay their war tax. The body is not the people them. We go after the organizations them. We they rip off money from territory. We don't tell them they comply for pay war tax. I will make it very clear before we start exact way to the drum. We go after their human resources and also after their material resources to make them comply for pay war tax. Who they think? A lot of them don't start to respond. They contact we and they figure out how to pay their war tax. We don't suffer too much. They don't sacrifice. I be the normal. You go see not only the Republic Cameroun apologies. They will come out for attack every tool we get and one use and will free people them. Maybe now we'll start to see these attacks. But the area of the always contact don't quite really talk about them. We also match them mano to mano for every lie we put out for our Liberation Cameroun and for public. We will fight with the master. The Liberation Cameroun apologies. We won't start to fight. They will out of apologize for Liberation Cameroun. They call we liberation fighters them terrorists. Now they see them, they come out again. We don't talk to any every company for territory. Every business when they run, they exploit territory, they make money for territory. Make the pay. Make the pay liberation tax. We put them only pay to government for villages. They stay for house. They only pay for that tax. Or will come out with demand. Say make all these people that they exploit territory. The businesses make them to comply for pay revolutionary tax to protect the people them, to protect the soldiers, to protect the villages be burned down. Very charlatans, hoodlums them. The Republic Cameroun apologies them. They will come out. They attack. They call for which one response for protect their own people them. You call we sort out kidnappers. We get an anti-kidnapping czar. We pick up with the kidnap common people them and with the exact punishment on them. So when we go out for individuals and individuals when the organization go out for individuals, now individuals and they be attached to a business entity. Will be attached to people who don't always send a communique ever since they start to pay your liberation tax. I will make it very clear so will come after your human resources and material resources if you don't comply. You don't come out of a sudden. You know, be all of a sudden so we'll take those measures. Now still much ball them short-sightedness. People in one catch up with way AGOF see ADF you do them. Now 2 years later they catch up with them. When we start self-defense that day. We said the various groups they don't create an on and on carriage nowadays. The only standing body with a national army in an ADF. Which kind of thing you don't do to destroy the national army?
You really follow this story. This footage where we put together is 3 parts. We'll get a very short part of the declaration by Emmanuel Ngong. He called himself Capo Daniel. He supported the struggle. I don't know why he not fit own up to his identity. But Emmanuel Ngong admit for.
Sorry, people they get alias names them. Capo Daniel never deny say name Emmanuel Ngong. Now the very una like Republic Cameroon agent them. Apologies. La Republic Cameroon apologies them. Una things with the fear. We face they out. They can only see your face only when you come out to attack the core of the revolution. They will only see your face when you come out to attack the egg of sea. Now the only time they will only see this type of their faces. Now what I call them saying that the Trojan horses and La Republic Cameroon apologies them inside this revolution. We need fear. We name they out there. Faces they out there. We will put in the work for people and for nation. You go only show your face when you come to attack the backbone for the revolution. How often you come out to take the risk for free for sure so you did out to fight for people? You really come and only when you want to attack the talk say the call him alias. Emmanuel Ngong na name. Capo na name. Any hide in face or hide in name out there. You think na the chief shot if you try for you? Sorry, try harder.
They say they kidnapped this person. And we put them side by side with a real kidnap in Nigeria. And we want our people to look at, listen to the stories, and tell us if there is any difference. Because this is a war crime. If the
young man, you think say you go fight the war now politics? You think say you fight the war now big grammar? We talk grammar for over 50 years. When the ever can't talk in a arm, you know this for the psychology, na arm go push it for the out. Una ostracize, una create scandals against the name. The Republic Cameroon send una. When we start a fight, we are going to beg the Republic Cameroon. They apologize, right? Opponent of apology, send them for them. When they tell them the match, it talks before now one match. We are ensure that they military for protect the people them. No send put for street, no get military for protect them. You na come send people they kill them for streets. We na claims we na carry civilian arrest. We say that we go. We say end up. The world want to talk about this case because of the facts they will carry guns that fight. They will not come in after. They still want to see attack the structure, the team where they liberate with the go front. We'll see una. I call you this young man, or you call or maybe we live for the LCBC now. I call the and they call you La Republic of Cameroon apologies and internal detractor. Go ahead.
There's a difference. We would like to get the debate, not a monologue on the difference, a debate on the difference, because we know if we find a difference in this. And then the last part of this is where Ngong Emmanuel also declares it, the ADF or their AGOC group, by group, is an independent group. And they don't need to work with anybody. So they are independent, but they want to impose their unilateral independent policy on 8 million Southern Cameroon.
Sorry. Do you with politics? We are in a revolution. We call ourselves an independent group. If you want to attack now, that will fight like the Cameroon, we wait for una. We don't say all that. We implant una within Ambazonia. The LDF faction them. Notice no attack we. We talk unapologetically. We are an independent group. We don't lie about that one. And we fight. We use every tool available for free people them. We attack both people that when they say on the inside way for the apologize for the people of Cameroon. And we attack the Trojan horse from within we. Now the stupid to put an app for way, they don't catch on a locker. The resource that raise all so far, we are not to them. We have things that create self-defense. We are the self-defense group day. Which effective structure for self-defense is for territory, if not the ADF? The other ones them, they exist. Now small people they spring up from ADF. Some will call them ADF military barracks them. So like ADF train them, we can create our own groups them. We can cost cut all this craziness with our first government. Second, how many government will create them? With all the chaos we don't cause of the revolution. We are still getting mouth for people to talk. We are an independent group, and we lead. We fight for lead for free people them. No be politics this. Get your point straight. No be politics this. You want a liberation struggle. And if you know your mind physically think for that lie wey dey think. Sorry, if you be able to attack the board, we expect all this kind of attack them. We do wait now. We'll crush both internal detractors, internal dissents, also crush also the Trojan horse amongst us, and we'll crush the people of Cameroon. We get that tenacity, we get that backbone. We no enter this for play. No be a walk in the park. You already practice politics inside the revolution. We don't come to play politics. And we don't make any apologies as long as we independently concerned. We go free our country unapologetically.
That's without the consent of certain Cameroonians. That we cannot allow. And it lists the other companies where they get in their lineup for continue with these same criminal activities. This is criminal.
Now here, we people don't sacrifice for over 5 years economically to make a point for sure so one will be free. When we tax companies them, when they exploit we land, take money, part of that money, jump for the Republic of Cameroon, to buy weapons, attack we. We'll go after those companies for tax them, to take money, to protect the people them. Now the Republic of Cameroon apologies. Because we walk in core with the Republic of Cameroon. Now the Republic of Cameroon apologies. And if they are detractor than this, they become the attack we. So we tax people them, we tax corporations them. We rip off millions, multi-billions upon billions of territory. We want hold them, they pay money, they hold, forget money, for protect the people them. Then they can't apologize to the Republic of Cameroon. If they talk say what you do, it be wrong. When I begin to see them, when I open the eyes and see them. Now, agents for the Republic of Cameroon, internal detractors them. If you come against the policy we put our place, so one whole company is going to exploit land, me they pay war tax. Will we be able to protect the people then? Then who you work for? And how you be criminal for ASCAM? When they exploit land, take money, part of the money, get all the people, attack we. We don't tell them, say they go pay war tax for territory, now we land. That's how you impose your independence. That's how you impose the ownership of your land. I will create structures in place that will put the money and they will be out there for be provided, for protect young men them, for protect the communities them. Then you hear this kind of elements them. When they first apologize to the Republic of Cameroon, they will come out for the attack. That particular move we want to take up. We will put in sacrifice. When you protect the company, then you protect that me they control pay money for the Republic of Cameroon. Me they take a dime, me they control exploit we. It be right? And the ask on Ambazonians them. We will allow this kind of lies, me control Festa. I will challenge them point to point.
Producer, if you get that video on the camp water person when they inside bush, the beg for a life, just play them. Then we'll come back.
As when I see the regional delegate, this for Mesa for Kamwata.
Fellow Ambazonians, follow the leak of one audio when a conversation between me, Capo Daniel, and a member of Teko Ayoktabi, a team for outside on the Yerima, we decided to release a video of the regional delegate for Kamwata, will be under custody because Kamwata didn't fail to comply with order was sent out for them. The order are two things. They need to pay 10 million CFR for tax for this year for do business for Ambazonian territory. The second order, they need to stop collecting money for public tap. Public tap will be free, as it don't always be for Southern Cameroon. Kamwata na property for Ambazonia, for British Southern Cameroon. Kamwata it is still denied for pay their tax, their liberation tax, and for stop for collect money there for public tap. Would they therefore close their office where they for Chair Street for Bamenda? Would it talk about no staff, enter for day? I mean, no person for public, enter for day. Now, the same thing, it go for all the other company, the way Cameroon government, either create them, they can begin exploit for our territory. They go need to pay their own share for this liberation war, or they go through. If any person where you work for them, maybe gonna know, say they go abandon you, like how did they abandon this their original head for inside Mezam. They don't care about Una. And make una too, una one work for day, make una check the status if the company did not be permitted for operate or not. And if you collect money for public tap, make you stop them, because if you continue that activity, you will be arrested.
This is the work.
Where the couple talk will be wrong. With people, that's how you exert ownership over territory. You make decisions, we follow and through. It tell una authority. We don't inform them, so we pay our own war tax. We give the pay liberation tax. So we will use that to protect the people them. We don't send out that communicate ever since. And we tell them very clear, we make it very clear when they say we will apply every tool available and necessary. We don't hold an individual, we hold a corporation. May that be very clear. And as it every put on public tap, why you taxpayer don't get the means to carry out public tap? If you hold the people, they get private how do you call them lines for the houses. If you hold those ones, they take money from for pay them, and you know extort them. That will be different. They get a privilege. Public tap people, they not be wealthy enough in this hardship. We don't say leave the public taps them. Make people they get the water. Now water. Now we'll tell you to come out. What to be wrong for ask them? For alleviate the pain for people. Then you hear this one and they attack that particular move. They attack with Kapo talk. La Republic of Cameroun apologies. La Republic of Cameroun agents and when they implant them or detractors amongst us, we will confront them point to point, mano to mano. May I continue with this stupidity when they put that out? I also go challenge them. We go meet them toe to toe. For too long, man makes it very clear from Ambazonian. For too long, Cameroun ADF don't allow some of this type of things they put out there. We feel say welcome. Ambazonian will sort this thing out for themselves. Those lies they don't put out, they don't constantly derail our people then. It take long for people to catch up with some of these lies they put out. It take long for some of them to even come understand the truth. Because we allow them. I don't talk so we go challenge, we will be precise for confront lies. People don't stand and articulate lies, falsehood for public, for control, derail people then. Because they get a plan. Their failed scheme for create government inside the revolution, they failed them. I don't constantly fail them. We fight for free the ones that they don't like, they put them, they move around, they catch and lock them. We fight for freedom. We fight for free land. But then they send them amongst that particular arm. We don't understand what to fight. They first start off their talk. But first of the address we say will be a party. We are not a political party. We are a liberation movement focused on the liberation of Ambazonia. And we'll do it at every cost, by any means necessary. We didn't make any apologies for that one. You call we, the first call we party. They call we are a liberation movement. We have never called ourselves a government. We will not be interested in governance. We are interested in liberating people then. Nobody will be crazy about power. They don't consider themselves, put and they go catch for Nigeria, can't lock them. We will fight for freedom. We make it very clear. Every tool, every business for land will exploit Ambazonia. We go shape the laws for land. I will get every tool, material and human. We will come after that one. If you don't comply, we talk back. We talk, they say we can't debate them. We don't get parliament. The time of parliament will come, we will debate issues them how have rule. But as long as we wait for the liberation struggle, we'll use every tool available for free ourselves. We make it very clear for these groups, them, for these organizations, and for every body where they exploit we make it very clear for them. You go pay your war tax. You go pay your liberation tax. We'll be happy. Already say, like the third tier businesses then. We're not yet, when we seek to send them out the official letter. They don't even come to us for response for say we need to be a part to this. We want to see how we pay. We don't even hold them. We want to show them clear modality where we will be traceable and accountable. We don't put our resources for them. It be an overwhelming, surprise, and it be overwhelmingly received by Ambazonians. The common mommy for village, it is lost Monday. This Monday I talk so, it is the work, each not for house. The mommy where it is survive, not for paying for buying Jama seller. It is lost one day for 5 years. And the one can hold corporations them. We tell them. So get tools and means to make them for comply. But one to be gentlemanly, for come out, for work with we. We need the resources for protect our villages, for protect our boys, for protect our environment. Now we learn. That's how you exact and take control of your destiny. You used every tool available. Look Hamas. Look the PLO. How did they survive? Go for every liberation structure. Every tool where you raise funds to the land, did they comply? Even for Eritrea. Businesses in Eritrea, they don't business, they pay Eritreans and non-Eritreans. Eritrean people, they say when they get business out of the for Ethiopia, they will pay. They won't ask for elevate paying for people then. Won't ask for resource for people that they exploit billions upon billions. MTN, how do you call them? T-Mobile, all those corporations then. They suck wealth out of the land. One person they pay, give you money, we protect people then they. Because the war tax, they burn the place, they kill people them. You hear like people come on apologize them. They want to attack that particular move. How they attack we doing that one stuff for different people then. They go to apologize to Liberia Cameroon. The same element they apologize, because part of the day, they be locked up in Liberia Cameroon. And we fight for freedom. But they still get member them amongst them when they come to say attack we. We didn't make any apologies for demand for what for liberation tax. I will use every tool available for ensuring they comply. We'll be out for protect the people there.
The first one you went. The kidnap gang linked with the murder of late retired army captain.
I don't get time for even push I for play this audio because they try to relate any kidnapping anywhere for this war with the ADF. That one a very weak point, very stupid point. They won't pick any form of kidnapper. We from the ADF body, we the catch people, we the kidnap people, them common civilians, them. We the catch them with the exact punishment for them. We don't see them over and over. We get an anti-kidnapping czar, Capo Daniel. The so-called Capo you talk about them. We in the monitor with the ADF fighters, and we mind how this boy, what the boys they go through. They fight the enemy and they fight kidnappers and for keep the population safe. They monitor them and they catch them. They show now how they catch people. Look at the arrest, they harass the people them. They kidnap people them. We catch them with the show of Ambazonians them. We will make a statement, a chess game move inside the revolution. We will make a statement for a corporation where they explain people them. When they ask them if they pay war tax. I will be tell them, so they will comply because we get the tools available for exact pain on their material and human resources. If you don't comply, we not take any action. We not announce them, we not discuss them with them, and as they don't comply, we apply them. We don't take any action haphazardly. This one will be a message to them straight for the calm water, for leave water. Public tap for people them, for poor suffering people them. Because now water, that's how you exact force. That's how you exact authority in your land. And for making sure they pay their own liberation tax. Now they took conditions that we have for them. I will tell them, say, if they don't respond, we will respond to appropriately. I will respond appropriately. You see, La Republic of Cameroon apologize them. They come out, they attack me. When we all come up for the suffer, they put in their all. One day every week. When 60% of people they survive about businesses. They put one day every for the past 5 going to 6 years. To stay home to make a point. And we will ask multinationals and other national corporations and other big businesses them to respond appropriately. To work with we. You get like the Republic of Cameroon apologize them. We understand the concept of liberation. The things that party this, they can attack me. We will see who now. I will continue to expose now for people to see who now be. Charlatan, you don't understand what the liberation struggle be. You don't get no clue about liberation. This is not politics. Thank God when I will talk politics at parliament. But maybe now that the liberation phase. And whatever action we take from ADF and AGOC, we make no apologies because we focus on liberate people them. We don't know the debate on careless discussions.
Visual work comprised Frank Ishe.
I'm not going to play this nonsense. They go pick
Burn their villages.
They go pick some incident somewhere happen from somewhere. I don't know wherever. they try to compare, make a parallel of a kidnapper. We with the cash kidnapper in South territory, exact paying for them. We pick a head of a corporation. We almost tell them say we are paying a war tax, or else they cause their consequences. Then they want to use that one for compare some petty thieves them somewhere from Nigeria.
All what done. The third issue are this criminality. So when are this kidnapping? This is not
when I give me minimal rewind, I just give a bell with me rewind something.
Commit any kinds of atrocities. And you know, my people them they talk say this. So when tiger enter village, we're not the injure, we're not the torture them. We're not the injure, we're not the make the plight of our people on who have already suffered the burden of this war, and we already torture them and humiliate them, and you know, and do everything, causing all sorts of and kill them. We don't want to make that situation even worse. When we then make our people suffer more, the tendency that say our people there will think.
Well, I'm going to understand. The people the way area we go after, the one where they talk about them, now a head for Kamwata. And we try to alleviate the pains of people by telling Kamwata, say, they leave all public taps are free for suffering masses. When I tax private people, they get private taps for their houses. And when I go to pay on a war tax. Now the two colonies now will begin for them. But when I hear they can't talk, so they want add pain for people then. We the capture people, they kidnap people for territory. I'll be exact pain for them. We'll show now every day. You want to compare we and the situation? We try to whole companies them where they make money out of land accountable. Say me they pay war tax. This one they can't defend that kind. They defend actions. They defend the people then. They attack we as long as attack we. We will be attacked like go to Cameroon from the start. They apologize for like go to Cameroon. They call we terrorism. They call other Ambazonians terrorism. They don't even get a clue. They don't understand what to fight for. And they continue on their line and their mission for attack the ADF and the AGOC body. Will be unshakable. We don't put all kinds of structure inside the revolution. That way start with this 5 year we pick up. They don't crumble. The AGOC ADF stand like vanguard for this revolution. And we talk unapologetically. We don't even talk necessarily argue on Njangi house. We will talk with action and will be focused for free Ambazonia. We don't care whether how many of us will free land. We don't put all for down. We need to debate this one. They will throw their stones on us, do all kind of things. The ones that don't come, they squander money, thief money. The ones that like come implant them amongst the revolution. We will always talk about what they call Ambazonian all man be good to take over the right place. They don't constantly see this revolution. Now see a cheap shot this where the so-called IG care they aim at us. We need to make any apologies. If we say people there out they not sort their business out among themselves. They don't understand what to fight for. When Capo make a statement say we be an independent group, I will continue to fight for free problem because at times some people now wait. So organization in the movement now wait a heavy weight where they can they draw this thing back. We mean them. We mean them. I will continue to stay focused. We don't want distraction. We don't want internal detractors of kind of distract we. Wait till talk, I'll put out public. We'll stand by it. All public businesses, big businesses, multinational, nationals, and big businesses in territory, they go pay their liberation tax. If they even the smaller ones don't even comply, they meet up with, they try to figure out how they will pay their own taxes. Who be this one who can't tell challenge? They will excessive of the Republic of Cameroon. For try to attack, we go because I told that. Like when I see the same scheme, every time when the AGOC, the area don't count up a scheme for say if we raise galvanized funds. They always come with a, how do you call them? A deterrence. When we say when we talk, say, okay, the never again generation, one buy RPG them. They come with my trip to Biya. The so-called government people. They derail them, chop money. We continue to fight on the block by block. They come with county by county. Who's on a day? They decimate all false system. Disrupt this revolution. We're ready for the door for Biya. They fight inside Biya. Now we come say one tax Operation will make multi-billion CFA, millions upon millions of dollars inside our land. That's also part of the so-called the government. If they attack that move, we will open the suffer. And when we want to make our talk clear, say Cameroun will stop for attacks, public taps them. And for alleviate the pains for people them. Now still them they come for attack that particular move. We'll be done with all this kind of heavyweight. We'll carry them. We need help. We even struggle free some of the people the way some of the people remember with their own gang. We should only claim to the one create governance, we live in jail. We struggle freedom. We will put the war for streets. We will put in the war for fight. They will kind of say, okay, now for fight, it'll be okay. Now they send them. They be confront, we attack, we call we terrorists. Apologize like Cameroon. Then they say attack we again, go back. They always play catch up game with an on go. Because they always get that mindset of control it, you not free. You don't get the platform or the roadmap for free land. If you get the roadmap, they talk say no create government. Now get a regional council. Now okay, what's happened? What they lead me to? Which other tool they will not apply to say put pressure for will be free? Then they talk about Ambazonian, they call Ambazonian to that because of AGOC. Could we anywhere? We talk unapologetically because we mission of a free land. Let them not pass on the go to make all it. No. We don't stay focused. We don't get distraction. Look left, look right, say where they come. Then they distract, disturb we. We be focused now on the mission. Those organizations live on land. Those big businesses them. You are compelled to pay liberation tax. There will be non-debatable. We need to argue about it. We need to alleviate the pain for people them. People don't always pay their own form of tax in one way or the other. We can't exploit we. You think say you just like feel like we just move the cow the milk come. You the milk we will give money for like Cameroun we can't kill we. We won't ask you to me pay tax. Give your own share, no protect yourself, protect the people them. You get some charlatans them. They will show someone can't talk say and they tell attack we call we say we kidnappers them. We tell them we don't pick any kind of person and we go after all their officials and top officials and for this organization if they don't comply. The infrastructure and also their top officials and we get our disposal to make them understand and they comply. They better comply, work in good terms with us, work in good agreement with us as some of the small ones they try to work with we. And we will force them to comply. You know, this is our land, they exploit our land. We go to they die. And we'll ask you to do the right thing, the morally correct thing, to give you resources to protect people them. Then they will send detractors them to counter we, for attack we. We don't get thick skin. They go come and me they send them more. We go free with land, whether they like or not.
Sell out our fighters. The tendency that say our forces them, our strength will be divided and will not ever reach for place where we dey. So where we want go. So we need for clean, to make sure say people them that not use the name of war, fight, do any kinds of commit any kinds of atrocities. And you know, my people them
ADF they make sure say they will do down. We they pick out kidnappers them, the show of Ambazonians them, time and again. Which other group for this revolution? When I talk, Ambazonians don't understand. Which other group? You don't catch kidnapper them. Show up in public say these guys that kidnappers them and we will allow them in the control will cause pain for people them. Which other group won't do them? Even though the ADF. When I look, we get history of the revolution. Which other group don't do them when they catch people in that quarter, catch kidnappers them? Extra of Ambazonians say we no allow me cause pain for land. Now ADF we do them. So we'll go after a member or a group of people that really, first of all, we want to say all the oppressive structures of territory, the structures and the human structures, the people they show place for like the Cameroon position, they oppress you, the governors, the DOs, the SDOs, the government delegates, all that one them, now potential target for we. We need to talk the fear. Now potential target for we. With the military, that is the oppressive structure in our land. The buildings that they use and do for attack we, now a target. We don't tell now business people they say una comply. No one come after una. We know so that they give money like Cameroun to buy weapon can attack we. We need that resources for una. For protect the people them. For defend themselves. We don't talk, we first send out information. Casually, normally, officially. And we make them understand safety. If you don't respond, we get tools available for make you for comply. As long as you reap money out of the land, you give a payer war tax, the liberation tax. If you don't do them, we get tools available for make you to comply. We go apply, we go use your human and your material resources to send a message. Make you comply. We tell them first. I will make it very clear. Then they come water. For tell come water, say make it leave public tap, they will put them when they will suffer masses, they make they get them for free. If now even make money on, when I even hold and they get private line of the housing, now batting that. What is bad for that? You will hear charlatans them. Like the people Cameroun apologies, detractors them. They don't want to attack that particular move.
Don't say this. So when tiger enter village, chief go there go plenty, right? Because anybody.
We be the tiger. Ambazonian, we be the tiger. Ambazonian Republic. We be the area. We the end up with decimate like the Cameroun and anything. Those small thieves them, we catch them. I only give them space for open for any place we do. We will go after them. We will take the risk to navigate within the Republic of Cameroun and military. We will catch kidnappers them. We will get the message very clear. The top officials of all these big businesses and companies them, and also the businesses them. Now we own tools and that to make them understand, to go comply. We put that very clearly out. We tell them we need the resources to protect the people them. We will not make any apologies or any bones about that. It be non-negotiable. We need the fear for talk. Oh, this is not only politics. We need for a normal functioning society. We need for the struggle for survive. We face an existential threat, and we will apply every tool available for free ourselves. So it may be a point for discourse of things say may pay tax or the discuss or the debate them. Do they practice governance already? Did a fake mindset of governance? Like say we're going to debate this type of thing. We need debate them. We make a statement and move forward.
Right? So that it's in one that when we get war, the fact that we get war not means say we get for commit criminal activities and in the name of war, because it is boomerang on us. It actually affect us negatively. It impede our progress.
When we tax multinationalism for ensure say me the tools make the tax be paid for protect them, we get tools of it apply. That will be clear. Now, they don't get a notion of revolution. The things that they enter this thing and will fight inside with coat and tie, suit, for work inside this thing with Dutch mod. This one, I want to tell Ambazonians, I want to submit for Ambazonians today. The egg of CA, they inside mod. With the sling mod like Cameroun. And that detractors that you want them. Would they inside mod? Now, point is the things that they want win the liberation struggle with coat and tie. They need to fight this war. If you understand the psyche for the people who fight them, and the extension France, you know they take liberation with those people. Then we talk, or else 50 years ago we don't gain independence. You take and you seize them, and you apply every tool available for seize your liberation. Now the point I did that we do have unapologetically. We don't make any mistake. We don't debate. We do it to be right. We be right for Ambazonians. One to be certain. If they kind of this one, they will see the full tie, coat and tie, talk grammar. How many times we don't put coat and tie, talk grammar for the past something years? Who say believe me too? Further and further submission, attacks, denigration. The time we like when we can confirm code, if you respect we now as we carry gun. We face them mano to mano. But when they call Ambazonia inside like Cameroun, they shake. And now the AGOFC ADF put that structure in place. and will continue to defend them by every means possible.
Look at this particular issue where you put on that water guy, the arrest of this guy. Number one, no actually even assume say, and before even we reach them, might distinguish three things. There is taxes, paying taxes or a war levy, where I believe that all of us, everybody, they have to pay, including the diaspora. In fact, the diaspora have to pay more because
we do already pay. We do already pay those war taxes. So you want exempt corporations them when they extract billions upon billions of CFA from land for no pay? You want exempt them? Except they get personal interest for some of those corporations then. We want allow operation to maintain the status quo, make the control oppress you because we profit from them. If you attack the move, we will make them.
Actually, the ones away will make more, and then with the ones away will not actually suffer the direct consequences of that war. But there is that. There is the withholding of taxation or for paying taxes by our people. Our people, therefore, on ground zero, they feel as they should, as a matter of protest, as a matter of policy, refuse to pay taxes for La Republic. After all, when they pay those taxes, they're not the same taxes the way they take and use them for pay military people the way they can't kill them.
And at the same institutions, they will tell them, they give we pay their war tax for we. They pay money for like Cameroun can't kill we. We hold them to accountable for our own land, for impose the rule for land, and now we give land. Make them pay their own war tax. As for people that already they pay the tax. We tell Kamwata, allow public tax for free for suffering masses. If you tax individuals them. What is wrong in that? You know they get the well and the means to put for up their house. If you tax them and it will even go to cut their money, other billions will land up with it. Cut reduce their rates. Now the national area and AGOVC put them out. Leave public tax to put them in, even will suffering masses, maybe they even get them for this war will go on. So you want tax and take money for 300 today for public tax. Now even I use only tax because my days are beginning to grow, so don't be tax, public tax, the tap water.
Their villages and all whatnot. The third issue are this criminality. So when are this kidnapping? This is not a viable option, no, a helpful option in any way. Who then leave those three things by the side? Go to the specific individual, the specific action. You go kidnap somebody that they deal with water. You know everybody for inside that place knows that water is an essential commodity. If they turn off those pipes, who will suffer? Now the public, now people that for Douala, now people that for Yaoundé. Do you think they can?
When they will turn off those taps, we get the capability to take care for that one. We get ingenuity in the Ambazonia. We put it self-govern that time. We go take me they turn them off. We go survive. Me they take all the taps. We will take over those taps them and we'll control them to take care of them. If they are on top the young girl like we can, we they do them. Why not we do them? Me they turn all the taps. I want to say calm water. It must stop for tax public taps. We masses the suffer. The amount of money they reap for private houses them, it won't be enough. When the suffering mass don't even put bread to the table. We tell them say leave the water for them, they need to use them. This one you see one the talk say me they turn all the tap, you talk about color, we will take over them. We will take over control. We get private matter good example. For Bui, for Kumbu. We will run water. We will be like a bone of contention till today. We will run water till government can seize them. Now the people that will take care for that one. Now people that will take care for that water. Where I come from, with people that right my village. Now them they run the water corporation. Now they take care of the water. I will be more taken care of than even the government. So what do you want to talk about? If they turn off the me they turn it off, we go take they go turn it out, then they leave. We go take them, I will control them. We get other pilot scheme for other parts for inside Ambazonia, and the rest. We don't run water corporation by themselves without the government intervention. And then they tax the people then. The way they tax them. They put what you put and will take care of themselves, and they keep those other cashmen well. They don't offer them we will do one. Make the runner, make the get out. We will take control down and we will take care of our runner better than them. We will not be beggars them. We will run a nation. If you don't show signs, if you take control for run the nation, what do you fight for? Now you guys say this kind of people don't understand what you call liberation. You must prove so if you manage and if you run your country. We will impose those laws because now we get that land. And it will work the way we want to make it work. If you don't understand what you mean by liberation struggle, get out. Come out. You don't constantly make errors and you don't lock someone from the jail. You don't make errors, you don't kill someone, pick it up the ground. You don't thief money, you don't make errors, you don't thief money. Still here, you continue to make those errors. You not call we egg of sea. We pick out kidnappers and petty thieves them. With the exact punishment for them, territory. We don't say we go after liability common structures. The human structure will oppress we. The material structure will oppress we. And we don't make it very clear for organization where they be thief for territory. When they will exploit money for territory. We don't make it very clear. So we get tools available. We will make them comply. We will not go to that extent. We want them to be gentlemanly. For understand, so if we for pay their own liberation tax, people protect the people. Then the same people the way they exploit them, take money out. One protect them, they even get their life or leave. They don't burn their houses them. They don't cause them pains. We want them to say if they exploit them, may they even get that humanity to be contribute, no protect the people them. They hear charlatan like this one them, hoodlum them, short brain them. No one someone to fight for. We can't stand for the go against them. As long as we go against every ADF move or AGOC move for this revolution.
So next we will say cholera de Bamenda. Next we will say people that die of all the other things and if they turn off the taps. Sorry, sir.
We get other schemes them. Is that Ambazonia way? Government no get hand for this. In short, you want me the government leave? We dey leave Bamenda leave the water project for we completely. We go run them. We dey leave the water completely for Bamenda for we. We go run them. I will take care for town and people then. And the next things that way along the line it will happen. Like the people cannot supposed to get any control, any hold over our territory. We don't want other schemes, other places, other villages, them, other county them. You know, we don't want other schemes them for them, for those places them. We get good water, well taken care of. The cash will be well taken care of. We know I get no case of outbreak of cholera. Now the way you can't fight we because of like Cameroun apologies and a detractor from within us. You can't fight the cholera. Who is the other one? Make them leave them. We will take care of them. And I'm going to want on that.
So that is the other thing. Number two, when one of the things that we actually even play, which was actually even much more disturbing. Now, this guy ranting about the kidnapping, if he talks in this, so they don't keep the person for inside within their own Ambazonian territory. When I say that he take you go inside Nigeria, and when you talk so, what did you do? You are specifically putting a red tag on our people and the innocent civilians the way they did for inside where our innocent refugees the way they don't run good. Because Nigeria in the pretext of actually fighting terrorism or fighting whatever and stuff like that, maybe they will go start harass our people. Similar to when this same.
So we can see how in there is tricking the word terrorism. So it is in Nigeria they fight terror. I mean say it call with terrorism, right? When I begin here, when I listen to what they talk.
Group they've been announced an imaginary alliance with IPOP. And when you do that, not only that, but there are other things. These people will harass people, they will control borders, we will make a big.
Fellow Ambazonians them, wait till Buhari government never do all this while. When they will do it now. They never catch the very people they talk, they never catch the nearer 7. When the Buhari government catch our life for Nigeria, what they will do it, nobody do them. We alliance for strengthening with IPOP because we want to create an economic corridor. will be sustainable for a nation. Now the only closest thing that we get than that. Nigeria never be a friend to us. They don't kidnap people from there, send them for day. They don't catch people in Nigeria. Send them. What again way they go do and never do? You see the kind of weak or lame excuse where you make them. We don't get time for this stupidity. Which Nigeria never do. They know they harass you for day. They know they catch people and send them for Nigeria for Cameroun. They know they arrest people the way they know they even terrorize people, intimidate and take money from them. Which in Nigeria again never they do. When the police have a lame argument, say they will say okay, I go that wherever will take that person go, anybody will pick her up. If you arrest anybody for any of this cooperation, you don't comply. Wherever will take and go, we are in control of that. If you want to have a fighting we, oh Nigeria don't capture an arm for an IG care. He set up for Cameroon. He did inside Yaoundé where we fight for freedom. Because the AGOFC and the ADF get a policy say no Ambazonian left behind. We fight for them, for freedom, for the stupidity and the careless mistake we make them. When I cost some of them, they catch, they go lock them up. We fight for freedom. You see, Cameroun, they attack the same people they fight for freedom people. I think you do a disservice for those people they lock them Yaoundé. Now Nigeria they catch and lock them for day. I don't constantly carry Ambazonia and the ferry and the center of Yaoundé. So wait again. Nigeria will do way they never do. We need to fear that kind of small talks. If the kitchen be hot, leave. Do you want to be politics? Do you want a revolution? I will do everything within our range for free land. If for me say one compel businesses for territory, for pay liberation tax, and you get any ambassador who will oppress or object to this. Now, and like Cameroun apologies. Now, an internal detractor or a Trojan horse. That's what they are fit, and that's what they do.
Counterproductive of our people, for our people, and then they give La Republique actually the terrorism for La Republique an incentive for actually go into foray into Nigeria, like they already do for Taraba State and other places. That's what they do for us. Even go catch our brave Naira 10 where they for jail. So this is just too many.
So now because we make this policy, when I hear Ambazonians happen to mix things them, they are saying we go put everything into context. So now because they catch a Naira 10, now because we make this policy, the Naira 10 we caught because of their stupidity. They don't understand what we fight for. They don't know what to call it a revolution. They constantly make mistakes them. They don't catch the Naira 10 for Nigeria. Send them for Yaoundé. Now the one claims that because of the fact that one tax multinational companies and corporations they pay their own liberation tax. Now tell you trigger. Now here they try to conflict things them. That's stupid. Now weak point.
Things about this wrong about this, and if we begin for even pay levy, if we go for pay levy, all these companies get for pay taxes, you have to have a structure in place that allow for collective, the collection of.
Sorry, sir. We get a structure in place. That's why I'm telling you that you think that you don't understand what we do. You be short-sighted. It make me for understand what's how your brain go reach. Because if you don't study the AGOFC and the ADF, that's the only structure that we don't stand the test of time. Internally and externally. That's the only structure that no things will come up with policies that will not put all the safeguards in place. Sorry. There is a collection mechanism already in place. If you don't know, make a let you understand there is a collection mechanism already in place. We don't make statements without projecting or knowing how to go about it. We're not going to argue, we're not going to debate this issue with you. There is a collection mechanism. And those companies, corporations, big business for land, they must and they get to comply, to pay taxes, liberation taxes. We people don't sacrifice, even if I talk for Monday, 5 years and counting, for pay war tax. one more of people, they reap us of wealth, billions upon billions of CFA on a yearly basis. We'll ask them for a token for protect with people them. For protect with people them. For protect with people them. You come, you be against them. We get the mechanisms. Stay out. Don't sit down out the rant. Join the liberation movement for free Ambazonia. You think so? Just been a ragtag organization. How they don't present themselves and project themselves the ragtag movement. They pick some now lock her up. Now cause some now groups don't cause the death of so many of the soldiers. Them. The war will take this thing through. Will be the battle this thing from with the blueprint will get them. We'll be able to hit the doors of Morocco, Biya, Clark squatters. Will fight inside. Will take place the topple and the go. We will come with this mash ball mentality. I know. I mentality, big book mentality. So you take me. We regress. We will turn an attack on the egg of sea. We'll still be strong and standing. The backbone for this revolution. We don't make any apologies for few people then. Neither will get time to discuss now. We'll talk when we don't feel like this is a parliament. But now we're on the mission for liberating land.
These taxes and then using it for the purposes for which it's intended. Not to be jobless in the diaspora, but to help prosecute the war and help, administer our territory.
Fellow Ambazonians, if we look at technically, the most accountable movement for this revolution will be like the AGOFC and ADF. We never ever come out to ask for resource for a particular thing. We will not see the results. We never ever come out ask for resource for anything. We will not see the results. We will not create a government for the fit people. As other groups don't create governments, they feed themselves up from that. Steal money, take care of their lavish lives. They don't see, we don't need for work. We'll ask them money for materials. We will not see the materials. We'll ask them money for pop these people out of the streets. We will not see them. We will not see the effect and the result for land. We don't keep that track record. We don't be accountable. We don't be the only group. We don't share material for that groups. We don't be the only group. When no matter where they call we, as long as they be clear, with clear objective, we be out of few people them. We always be present. The only group. Now ask me, so how can I tell you about Swiss stock? Swiss stock was a farce. When I see the whole of the so-called Swiss stock, we will ask the key questions. Biya Liberation Cameroun with France, they merge with Switzerland, merge themselves in for suck we. We see a trap, we don't fall in. We say end. One tell now, multinationals, all within the talk, the means what? We know and we understand how we force people to comply. We no longer go for that level. We will apply code red for force all those big businesses will tell you to comply. We know exactly how we do it. We no longer apply code red. We need a gentlemanly agreement. How some? I mean, the nice thing I say, even other smaller businesses don't try to see how they can help for protect the people. Then they don't even contact. We will not even send them out the official letters. So one do and structurally, they already contact we for ACN. They will run them for talk how the people will send an official notification and how we pay the liberation tax. So it will be transparent. When the moment comes for transparent will be required, and we will see the work will be done for ground. It will be open. It will be clear. Those small we will not even send them their own official letter. They already contact we. One more of those big ones, they need billions upon billions of territory. This coming week, we'll connect, we'll contact with them, we'll continue to send out the notification for them, official notification for them. For all those big businesses to pay their war tax. For as long as you operate for Ambazonia, you be compelled for paying the liberation tax. As long as you rip people out of billions upon billions of CFE, you be compelled for paying the liberation tax. We connect with this week. Moving forward, we don't allow charters like this one. We don't understand what it go on. The errors don't make us. You didn't smell them. The AGOFC and the ADF would lead. We didn't debate again anymore. We didn't work for free with people them. All other schemes, don't allow other schemes, they don't play, they don't collapse, infiltrate and destroy from within, decimated from within. We be a liberation movement. We detest government, anything like government inside the revolution. We be open. We want to become genuine minds. No be politics this. It's not a liberation war.
That's what I have to say. I could talk about this, but I'm so angry, so mad about this nonsense. You know, if you tell you, because it's not, somebody would talk, say, oh, once they make people that pay, better pay tax levy. That's not tax levy, there's criminality. It's the same thing where like, legal talk, they will tell you, say,
when I hear, I don't want to control this stupidity, because the more they listen to this stupidity, the more I feel so, it be so distasteful. For ask people who rip Ambazonians them billions upon billions of CFA annually. For ask them saying they pay war tax because everybody will contribute. And for ask them saying they alleviate the pain for people them. You get people out the counter them. They kick against them. Their job will always be constantly for attack the AGOFC. Apologize for Liberation Cameroun. Liberation Cameroun apologies. The so-called IGK and their groups. Let them not pass. We don't give now this button for too long. We'll fumble with them. The AGOFC is the lead. Unapologetically. And the business that. At the core upon all corporations. All business entities for territory. Where you work, you gain multi-billion CFA for land. We send out official notification on to pay on a war tax, for alleviate the pain for people them. The same people when they rip those millions from them, they kill them for streets, they burn their houses. We need that war tax for una to protect them. Their existence. Now the tool will give the constitutional business for land. So we'll ask una. We'll ask una on a discussing manner or debating manner. It be non-negotiable. Una pay una war taxes. We no one go for where we apply other tools them. We extract the war tax from una. Una be gentlemanly. Man up. As we connect una, contact una, for pay your war tax, for pay your liberation tax. It be non-negotiable. So now we get this message to come out this week and in 2 weeks ahead. For to comply. We don't force to comply because you're going to be met with double cost. You just comply, be gentlemanly. Do what you will tell una. So that we feed the land, we feed on our business effectively for the land. Because two things count. The land will be free. That's the very first thing that. And secondly, we have to continue to live for land. For sure, we will be a part of that liberation. But to respect these terms. The way the day will come. Not that kind of signature for land. We say, yes, we stand for free these Ambazonians. Behave, come forward as we approach una. For pay your war tax. Time for debate don't pass. At times for lead. For protect the extinction of people. For prevent genocide. Be responsible enough. Come pay your war tax. No one compel you for pay. I thank you. We don't give room for internal detractors and for charlatans, for control, for distract and to derail this revolution, for cause more pain for people them. Let I don't pass. If the kitchen don't too hot for now, leave the floor. I thank you all. Bye.
Revelations on why Cameroon's Swiss facilitation process died. It has been 2 years and 2 months, and the Swiss process has left limbo to the grave. Why? New revelations from Geneva show that the answer lies in what happened in Douala in September of 2019. 3 months before September 2019, precisely in June 2019, the Swiss hurriedly announced to the world that they had secured the consent of the parties to facilitate an end to the Ambazonian independence conflict in a place that the Swiss Center for Humanitarian Dialogue, HD, called the Northwest and Southwest regions of Cameroon. It turned out that the Swiss neither had the consent of the Cameroon government nor of the Ambazonian Defense Forces, the ADF, which the Credible Armed Conflict Location and Event Data, ACLED project, has described as the largest Ambazonian separatist group to mediate in the conflict. The ADF is the military wing of the Ambazonian Governing Council, headed by Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba. This lack of consent from the two most influential parties has often been mistaken as the leading cause of the death of the Swiss process. However, in several social media postings, speeches, and official correspondences, the Ambazonia Governing Council has stated that it is not outright against the Swiss process. Rather, it demands that at a minimum, the negotiations be multilateral and be held under the auspices of the United Nations. Gunther Bachler, whom the Swiss appointed to lead the process, has not denied this framework. In fact, in multiple correspondences to the Ambazonia Governing Council, the Swiss HD admitted that this framework was most appropriate to give the process credibility. Therefore, the failure of the talks does not lie in the position of the Ambazonia Governing Council. Why then have the talks not started for more than 2 years? Why have they failed? The Cameroon government is an autocratic regime. Autocrats never succumb to negotiations with opponents unless they are forced to. The Swiss process totally lacks muscles. The Swiss failed to activate strategically powerful nations, such as the USA, that had supported the process, to tactically pressure the Cameroon government to the negotiation table. Contrary to the wisdom and experience of the Norwegians, who used the Bush administration to pressure Omar al-Bashir of Sudan's autocratic government into negotiations with the South Sudanese. Why the Swiss failed to give the stillbirth process muscles lies in its economic interest in Cameroon. On September 12, 2019, 4 days before the Port Autonome de Douala, PAD was scheduled to announce that Terminal Investment Limited, TIL, an Italian-Swiss subsidiary of Mediterranean Shipping Company, MSC, would take over the management of the Douala seaport. Cyril Bolloré, the then new CEO of the French company Bolloré Transport and Logistics, BTL, wrote to Paul Biya, President of Cameroon. Cyril asked for Biya's intervention against the Swiss TIL. A French versus Swiss war over the management of the Douala port began. The TIL was going to replace Douala International Terminal, DIT, jointly owned by Bolloré Transport and Logistics and APM Terminals that had managed the Douala seaport since 2005. Unless Biya intervened, Bolloré, which the Swiss TIL had competed against in the concession bid, was going to secure the contract and begin operations in January 2020. Jean-Yves Le Drian, the French Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs, hurried to Yaoundé and met with Biya on behalf of Bolloré that wanted to maintain its contract against the Swiss TIL over the seaport. In October 2019, the very next month after that meeting, Biya intervened. Cameroon's Minister of State and Secretary General at the Presidency, Ferdinand Ngongo, ordered Cyrus Ingo, the general manager of the Douala port, to immediately suspend works for the finalization of the terms of the Terminal Investment Limited (TIL) concession contract. This order was to be sustained until definitive conclusions by the Literal Administrative Tribunal in Douala on the case of APM Terminals and Bolloré SA against the Port Authority of Douala. It is common knowledge in Cameroun that no court dares Mr. Biya. Orders from the presidency to Biya's appointed judges are case judgments. Biya ordered the judiciary system to rule in favor of the French Bolloré, despite the far juicier tender from the Swiss. The Swiss TIL lost the contract that was already being finalized. Not even the multiple diplomatic appeals of the Swiss ambassador in Cameroun to Biya changed the mind of the leader of the jungle state. By losing the Douala seaport concession contract within 6 months of announcing their interest in the Ambazonia conflict, the Swiss realized that all their economic interest in Cameroun was at risk. Switzerland had to make a choice between protecting its own economic interest and pushing for international mediation, as the Ambazonian groups that signed up to the process had wanted. For Switzerland, it was a choice between its own financial gains in Cameroun on one hand and the Ambazonian people on the other hand. A rational choice, theorists would guess, the Swiss opted for their own economic interests and pulled back from mounting any pressure on the Cameroon government to consent to the Swiss facilitation process. That put the nail on the coffin of the Swiss process. The Swiss HD has, however, maintained its involvement in the facilitation of the conflict simply as a face-saving measure. It has tactically done this by giving money from the Canadians to Komesaku and Chris Anu to drum the Swiss process as though it were alive, strong and active. No, it died at the shores of Douala. Switzerland does not want to admit that it failed and step aside for a credible process to arise, a process under another mediator that will galvanize the world and pressure Cameroon to the negotiation table. Unfortunately, in saving their own face and delaying the potential rise of such alternative process, the Swiss are extending the number of days in which the cherished blood of Ambazonian women and children is being spilled by Cameroon. The Swiss have opted to sacrifice Ambazonian children on the altar of their own economic interest. The only way the miscarriage Swiss process can be resurrected from the grave is for Switzerland to officially bring in muscles from powerful nations to influence Biya. The path to doing that goes through Oslo. We shall explain another day. This August 13, 2021 report was compiled in Geneva, Switzerland by Charles Noeliza and Rose Inanga for Emba News 24 and narrated by Larry Womack.
My baby gay pikin so. They wanna catch and kill him. Nonsense. In nonsense school pikin. Now animal, he deserves to be treated that way.
Your freedom is in your hands. It is going to be fought inch by inch, block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, rooster by rooster. Yes, sir. There you go. Your freedom is in your hands. It is not going to be given to you on a platter of gold. I can assure you here from Washington.
We are talking about blocking of roads right now by the angry population. It's another scene here. You can see here in checkpoint Moliko Boya, they are blocking the roads. They say the governor of the South region must come down here and make a statement. You can see from the population blocking the roads right now. This is checkpoint Moliko Boya. That's the Omnisport Stadium here in Moliko. Blocking the roads right now.
Your freedom is in your hands. It is going to be fought inch by inch, block by block. Never and never.